afternoon, everybody. Let's try that one more time. Good afternoon, everybody. There you are. We're going to need a lot of active participation today in honor of Cathy Mishkin. So for those of you who have not met me yet, I'm Eshoo. I'm the still new head of King School, and I get to say that for a couple of more months. And I'm so honored to be here and to be a very small part of what's going to be a really wonderful celebration of all that Cathy has given to all the people in the room, all the people outside of this room who weren't able to join us today, and really to King School and all of the iterations of King School that have come before. Cathy is a rock in this community. And I think, as I'm looking around, that I'm pretty sure I probably have at least the youngest relationship with Cathy. I think even her youngest grandchildren probably have a time benefit over me. But what I've learned about Cathy in a very short period of time is that Cathy is a woman who knows what her priorities are, and her priorities are people. That's why everybody in this room has shown up today. We know that Cathy has given, I think, love, support, and service to all of us in ways that we cherish. And for me to be able to say that after a short period of time, and for all of you who have known her literally for decades, to be able to say the same is quite a legacy. So with that, we're going to get this party started. I'm going to hand over the microphone right now to my friend, my colleague, Ms. Marnie Sadlowsky, who's going to take us through the program. Marnie.
Welcome, everyone. Cathy, I can't believe that I'm standing here and that you're sitting there and that we're all gathered here together. I think I've said to many of you out in the hallway, driving here today, I was shaking. This is such a special day for so many of us that I know that anything that comes out of my mouth and anything that comes out of all of our mouths will but be a gesture toward the depth of meaning and commitment that you've given to this place. I want to just preface everything by saying that to you personally. So welcome. Welcome everyone. Welcome those of you who are watching via live stream. I believe we're live streaming this. Welcome to this wonderful celebration of a truly remarkable person. I am so honored to introduce what will surely be an afternoon full of laughter, love, and deep respect for Cathy Mishkin. And I am equally honored to share this stage with so many of Cathy's good friends who will serve as narrators for us of the history Cathy has herself written here at this school. This school with its deep, rich history of commitment to each student, each day, with love and respect and service. Honestly, when I first met Cathy 20-some years ago now, I was intimidated by her. As a new teacher, I was told quickly that if I wanted to know anything, understand anything, process anything, that she was the one to go to, and that she could give me a sense of the school's commitments, traditions, and values. She was the one. Cathy, this has certainly proved true, but what has also been proven true over the years is that you've modeled for me and so many others the fact that a life well lived in education is a life that is lived all in. Cathy, you have been all in at this school for your colleagues, your students, their families, and indeed for those outside of this school with whom you connected all of us. I didn't just learn about Low-Heywood Thomas, King Low-Heywood Thomas, KLHT, and King from you. I learned about how we were connected through people and program to all sorts of communities. I learned that there were many jobs to fill, many roles to take on, many responsibilities to own when working with young people. You showed up here and were all in, all the time, in all ways. Everyone in this room knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say Cathy Mishkin lives her life all in. We are in awe. And because of who you are and what you've brought to this community, we all got to know you in different ways. When you're all in and there's lots of stuff to do, you're all into lots of stuff. So a little participation here from the audience. How many of you knew Cathy as a dean? How many of you knew her as a teacher? A teacher of history, a teacher of art history, a teacher of music history. A mentor. How many of you knew her as a mentor? A friend, a fellow lover of music, of art, of Broadway, of history in general. How many of you knew her as a supporter of students who struggled and found in her a listener and a true caregiver? Yeah. How many of you know her as a person who calls students and all of us alike to serve the world as we find it in all of its need? How many of you know her as a person who knows that education can never just be about assuring that students accomplish great things for themselves, but that it also requires that they know themselves so that they can give of themselves, and in that process find themselves again and again and again? That's who you are. How many of you know her in ways that I haven't even named? Cathy, one of the things that we've enjoyed together over the years is talking about music. You've taught both music and art history here, as I said, and I've always known that you would understand me when I needed to gush about how beautiful a certain, say, choral piece of music was, and then you would give me tickets to the Pro Arte concerts, singers' concerts, which I was very grateful for. When I think of what you've been here at this school, at least from my relatively short time with you, compared to that of some who will speak today, I think of Randall Thompson's Alleluia. For those of you who know this choral work, Thompson uses only the word Alleluia through the entire complex piece. The shape of the piece relies on singers to interpret the repeated word over and over, a narrative that develops its complexity from the many ways the singers interact with it. One of my favorite choir directors used to say that we needed to sing this particular piece with the understanding that we were just tapping into a stream of something that was much bigger than we were, that we were joining in the repetition of a word, joining with a big stream of alleluias that stretched way back in time and way forward into the future. Cathy, please know that you have always been, for so many of us, a powerful stream that we could tap into in so many different ways here. Someone who taught us to embrace this always moving, always changing, always wriggling life that we live here together at this school every day. You have never stopped moving, never stopped being all in all these years. Because of that fact, what you believe about life and teaching and leading and singing and serving is present in our virtues, our mission, our service programs, our theater and music programs, in our class meetings, traditions, even in their newest guise. And when we breathe this air here, you are there. We are all eternally grateful. Thank you so much. So let's settle in and listen to all the ways Cathy Mishkin has been all in for so many of us and for our school. And we're going to begin with Helen Queskin, who actually was not able to be here with us today, but who has shared a video. There we go.
Dear Cathy, I am so sorry to be missing your retirement celebration today, but I want to share a few words sent with much love. What do I say to the sister of my soul, the woman who plays Louise to my role as Thelma? We've been on this King's School road trip for more than 40 years, so no wonder we often fantasized about driving off the cliff. We've seen it all here at King. We've celebrated the highs and we've suffered through the lows. We've subbed for each other's classes. We've organized midnight runs and chaperoned endless outings for student groups. We've held hands along hair-cliff bends in Nicaragua as we drove to work in a hilltop village. We've contemplated post-retirement jobs as school crossing guards. We've raised our families together and we now share stories about our wonderful grandkids. We've spent our adult lives at King with King as our focus, and there certainly have been a lot of adventures and misadventures along the way. But the real glue that binds us, my friend, goes beyond the ups and downs of the last 4 decades. You are the real deal in your capacity for compassionate action in the world, as well as your unbounded capacity for loyal friendship. Students lucky enough to take your courses on children of crisis and genocide have gone into the world as more sensitive and empathetic individuals. There are countless students who know how closely you listen to them in times of trouble. Friends like me, lucky enough to experience your ongoing support, appreciate your unique ability to see the good in all people. For those qualities of compassion, caring, and loyalty, as well as your tireless work for the advancement of the school, you have clearly won the affection of the entire King's School community. We have held each other's hands often, and I know that we will hold each other's hearts just as often in the years to come. Congratulations, my very dear friend, on your retirement. Enjoy the accolades that come your way. They are so well-earned, well-deserved. All my love, Helen.
I would now like to invite to the stage Mark Hoffman, class of '95.
When I was contacted to provide some thoughts about my relationship and my experiences with Cathy, it was the highest honor I've ever been given. I was touched. I have amazing memories of King, of my relationships with some great teachers. Cathy is one of those great teachers. She believed in me when many did not. I want to take you back about 25 years. Cathy was able to persuade a group of teenagers to live outside in cardboard boxes and not bathe for a couple days. This was the essence of Cathy as an educator. She was so much ahead of her time in terms of the way children learn most effectively. This was the essence of project-based learning. What I believe in now, what I know is the most effective way for people to learn, whether you're dyslexic or ADHD or you are that straight A student. This class was about service, it was about selflessness, it was about the life that Cathy lived. You do for others without expecting anything in return. And I do not live the life that Cathy lives, but I try my best. Neurodiversity was something that Cathy believed in, she embraced, she created, along with some other incredibly talented educators, a learning environment where I was able to be the learner that I am. Without a doubt, graduating from Williams College and getting a degree in child psychology, I could not have done that without the support of a Cathy, my parents, my family, but unwavering commitment to every student's success. And I feel that your next journey, wherever that might lead you to, I guarantee that you will be living a life of service and making whatever community that you're involved with that much better. I love you very much. I appreciate everything you've done for me and all of your students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I would now like to invite to the stage Sue Rockwell Cesare, class of 48 and former head of school.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here and to already see so many parents, teachers, colleagues, trustees, and students who have gathered to honor Cathy Mishkin and her 43 years of incomparable service. I'm very thankful to be a part of this celebration because I believe the impact Cathy has had is one of the most significant reasons our 5 schools are as strong as one today. Cathy joined Low-Heywood in 1976 as a part-time music teacher. She had not been with us for long before I realized that she had the passion and the necessary attributes to become not just an excellent teacher, but to become what she is today, a distinguished professional educator. Those attributes have been a desire to relate to students in a way that would help them the most, an ability to pass on skills and knowledges in a challenging academic context, and the patience and judgments to perform as a consistent and stable role model with empathy and character. Short of writing a book about Cathy, there is no way to express all that she has contributed. But having worked beside her for so many years, I would like to share just a few examples of her attributes in action. Cathy's relationship with students has been special. Her goal has not been to give them an education, but rather it has been to help students find ways to help themselves become successful in school and in life. She has opened different doors for many, many individual students, as you have just heard, and has brought out the confidence and courage within them to go through those doors. Her respect for all students is palpable, and her understanding of their different needs is always delivered with kindness, encouragement, and yes, accountability. Faint praise is not in Cathy's vernacular. For me, a visit to her classroom was a treat. She knew when to call on a student and when not to on a given day. She knew when to stop the class and go off task, because those were the moments when the discussion was becoming more important than sticking to the subject. Her school day had no beginning and no end. Her time was any time that her advisees wanted and other students needed. And perhaps her most success was reaching students whom often others could not. As an administrator, Cathy is particularly helpful working with parents. I asked her several times to meet with families who were having trouble understanding our school rules. I asked her because I had run out of ideas on how to solve our differences. The result was that almost in every case, Cathy would tell me she had done the best she could, and it seemed to be working out. Every school head should be as fortunate as I to have Cathy Mishkin. Cathy organized our first teen teaching course, which we called Humanities. She taught the music component, Boo Foster taught art history, and Elaine Waters taught political history. Cathy's other contribution to the curriculum was the development of 2 elective courses called The Holocaust and Genocide. Based on the study of the countries of Rwanda, Bosnia, and Armenia, the objective of these courses was to broaden the perspective of interested history students and to add relevance to other material they were already studying. And as a result of these courses was that Helen Queskin led a trip to Rwanda. And through Helen and Cathy, this school is still connected to that country. As the Dean of Students, Cathy was our point person in seeing that the coordination program in which students from Low-Heywood Thomas and students from King could take courses at each other's schools. It was a popular program and very broadening to both schools and to the school's budgets. My only problem with the program was that the girls going to King would go by my window, rolling up their skirts farther than I thought was appropriate. I would rap on my window, and the girls would wave back in a very friendly way, either not getting my message or, more likely, not wanting to get it. When I began to realize that they were not coming by my window anymore, I sought out Cathy and asked her about it. She said they had found another way to get to King. But she had also seen them and had negotiated an acceptable skirt roll-up. However, even she made no promises that the new length made it to King. Cathy was a role model, was more visible and more valuable, never as long as she was here, except during the early days of making the consolidation of our school's work. This was not an easy time for anyone. Cathy's grace and level of goodwill in vacating the head of upper school position set the example of how change should take place. She was committed to making it happen with as little disruption as possible. She quietly supported and encouraged students and adults to be at their best to make it work, and it did. As she returned to the Dean of Students position, she excelled in guiding both the boys and the girls to come to decisions that they had to make together. Her emphasis was on creating a fair and inclusive context for them to think within. In 1988, as our service learning representative, she began a homeless project, and this was followed in 1990 by the Midnight Run. Cathy's personal commitment to service learning was an important factor in bringing the King and Low-Heywood Thomas students together to serve others in our local community and beyond. We are fortunate indeed that she has continued to develop in today's students a comprehensive attitude that has gone a long way to meeting the expectations about service that are expressed in our current mission statement. Now I think it is time for us and all others who have been touched by this remarkable woman to focus on the legacy she's left us. That legacy is filled with inspiration, kindness, collaboration, and passion. It calls us not just to look to the future, but to create a future with as many opportunities as we can to give all others who join this school what has been given to us. So thank you, Cathy, for your loyalty, your sense of community, your embracing of change, and mostly thank you for 43 years of being all that you are.
Thank you so much, Sue. Adam Platzner, where are you? There you are. Okay, you can stay seated for a sec. I have some things to say first. So Adam Platzner sent us a bio, and rather than edit it, I actually want to read it because of all the things that you did during your time here at King, which were things that Cathy Mishkin supported you in, I think it's important for the group to hear all those things. That's right, that's why you sent it, yes. Adam Platzner graduated from King in 1997. He was very active during his time here. Adam served as vice president of the upper school student body and chair of the student council, where he authored the student council constitution, which is still in effect today. And Adam, you will be happy to know that Luke Buttenwieser, our current student council president, and I sat down to read the constitution the other day and have only suggested some minor changes. But that's the work that you and Ms. Mishkin and others did still stands, absolutely. He was among the first students to serve on the Board of Trustees as a part of a Board of Trustee committee. He co-founded The Standard, our school newspaper. He founded the Political Union. He was president of Model UN, where's Mr. G? A very robust organization still here at King, and he was president of Students Against Drunk Driving. He was co-captain of the 96 varsity Vikings football New England and FAA championship team. Cathy, you remember all of those events. And his class chose him to deliver a keynote speech at commencement alongside Jesse Jackson that spring. So an amazing time in King's history. I know, Adam, that you currently live in New York City and are the president of Zig, which is the Instagram of news, as I understand it, and a mobile media tech company. But mainly and most importantly, and this is what he put in his email, so I'm just going to read it to you, but mainly and most importantly, he is a huge fan of Cathy Mishkin. So, Adam Platzner, would you please come up and speak to us?
Oh, hey. Only here could, that happen. I appreciate that. Well, I wanted to put things in perspective for everybody because we go way back. That was the best introduction. What I realize is that a lot of people in this room know me, so I just have to say that all the seniors were co-captain of the football team. The last thing anyone would ever say about me is that I'm an athlete. So we've got, and we have some very key members of that team. John Hoffman's here tonight, former student body president, quarterback. So this is a little weird. This is a little surreal because I used to stand at this podium. This is a newer podium every day, right, Cathy? I prepared some remarks. Why don't we just give a hand to the entire Mishkin family? Sam, Rebecca, it's great to see you. Richard. You deserve it. It's amazing to be in this incredible venue to honor such an incredible woman. One of the many things that makes Cathy so special is that she is selfless. I've heard that word already many times today. She's always sharing the credit, giving the credit, not wanting to be in the spotlight, and in fact does everything she can to deliberately shine that light on her peers, her students, and her family. So in that vein, I just wanted to recognize some Hall of Fame King familia who are here, who have been very much influenced by Cathy, and as a result, of course, are right here. I see the Hom family and the Toms. The Hoffmans are here. Greg Lynch is here, who is a protege of Cathy. And I love that Greg is way furthest back in the room. He, I'm sure, has a lot to say about Cathy. He was a teacher here, and King's lost was Suffield Academy's game. He's the dean of students there, and he's just an incredible teacher, and he learned everything, I'm sure he would say, from Cathy. So it's great to see you. And I saw Colin Cosell earlier, and so I'm just happy to see a lot of you guys here today. It means a lot to me to be sharing the stage with Mark Hoffman, who was the student body president when I got here. He was a real co-captain of the Vikings. He ran laps with me during baseball practice so I wouldn't give up. He encouraged me, alongside Cathy, as Marnie mentioned, to write the Student Council Constitution. And by the way, I don't know, if I'm like the John Adams or the Thomas Jefferson of the Student Council Constitution, you're the George Washington, right? So we have the George Washington of the student body here. You already heard from him. I did want to just also say that as someone that also struggles with learning disabilities, Mark was always a big role model to me and continues to be. In school, everybody used to think we look alike. I didn't see the resemblance, but I was very proud. When I walked in here earlier, somebody, I think Joyce Casillian, who's also here, an amazing teacher, said, "Mark?" Like 20 years later, somebody thinks that I'm Mark Hoffman. Only here. You know what, you're a very handsome guy. So and actually his nickname in high school was Bear, and so he was a senior, so for that entire first year that I came here, I was called Little Bear, which I proudly endured. It's an honor to follow Sue Cesare, who is a legend, period, full stop. I don't know where she went, but I think she's here somewhere. Oh, there you are. Hey. Not to put any more pressure on Karen Eshoo, who I just met, but I'm sure that she knows that she's filling massive shoes with regard to the legacy that Sue has left. Karen, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for hosting us here and for taking our school to the next level. I'm excited about it. Anyway, 43 years. It's a long time. In the spring of I'm going to take you back. Let's all go back to the spring of 1994. My parents sat me down and told me they're pulling me out of my current school, which will remain nameless, and sending me somewhere else. I was 14 years old, and you can imagine it being an understatement that I was not pleased to be receiving this news. Transferring somewhere new as a sophomore is rarely something that excites a teenager. It's not ideal. It's possible that I said things to my parents like, "You're ruining my life." I do remember, like it was this morning, coming to campus for the very first time. Just to put my mood in perspective, I know I'm giving you the idea, but it was like kicking and screaming. I think my parents put me in a straitjacket. When I arrived here and they removed the straitjacket, I sat right here. Not right exactly here, but there was a White House that used to be here, right in this spot. I think Greg Lynch actually lived in it with a couple other teachers. His book is coming out on that experience next year. Random House. But next to the kitchen, which would have been somewhere like here, there was this boardroom, conference room type situation. And it had this big long table, and so like there I sat, tremendously pissed. Cathy Mishkin was the first human being that I met at King. She had come in on a Saturday to administer my admissions exam, just my exam, which of course I had been determined to deliberately fail. She walked into the room with that smile, and all of the energy changed within me. Do you know the secret to that smile? It's genuine. She genuinely wanted to be there on a Saturday. She genuinely wanted to meet me. I can see why Mark got emotional. She genuinely wanted to help me, make me feel comfortable, make me feel welcome, make me feel part of a family, a community. She knew how I must have been feeling and instantly assuaged an immense amount of fear. Why is this important? Because it doesn't exist. At the most, it's rare. It's just in rare supply. The ability to be authentically genuine, the ability to truly love what you do, and to truly possess something else in short supply, empathy, alongside hard work, dedication, determination. Dedication to leaving a lasting imprint on the minds and the souls of her students, to set a tone, to set a moral standard at a preciously critical moment in time in their lives. Determination sounds like a lot of drama, but for Cathy, it's effortless. It's who she is. It's in her DNA. And empathy, Cathy's superpower, allows her to connect with each and every student as if she stood in their very shoes. I think the first human anyone meets at King should be Cathy. She's not just a great educator, she's a great leader. And she is the living spirit of everything that this institution works so hard to instill in its students. Because after 43 years of service to this community, to our family, we're all related, by the way, in case you didn't know. She is one of the key building blocks of its foundation. Cathy's contributions over, don't kill me, nearly half a century, have shaped the culture here and are truly immeasurable. As it was noted, Cathy has taught many different sections of many different classes across multiple subjects. She's advised myriad students and student organizations, held department chairmanships, was the dean of students, and she even presided over the upper school. That's right, Cathy was Marnie. Years ago, when I was a student here, and I found out that Cathy, I don't know if you remember this conversation, but I found out that Cathy had been head of the upper school. I just couldn't wrap my head around why she willingly stepped down from that role and stayed at King. Because, I mean, after all, as we build our resumes, don't we leverage the next big job to get the next big job? She would just say that being an administrator took her away from being with the students. It's true. The idea of leaving King to accept another job was anathema to her. Because this has never been a job. It's a family. And this campus is an extension of her home, which is why it was not uncommon to see Richard, Sam, and Rebecca playing in the band, hanging out, running around on class trips. I mentioned I have learning disabilities. I was a very chubby, zitty, crazy teenager. I remember, actually, I'm just remembering this now. John Hoffman once pulled me aside at a leadership conference. You know, this is not a good story. That's for after. I should just stick to the text. But I know, anyway, I know that is all hard to believe because I'm clearly so handsome now. And shockingly, I was not so easy to deal with. I required business cards, access to conference rooms, telephones, you name it. I remember when the new headmaster called me into his office at one point to say, "I hear you're receiving your mail here now." Sue could have told him that I was receiving my mail here for 2 years prior. It wasn't really, it was new to him. But Cathy, you embraced everything about me. Encouraged my interests, taught me life lessons that have been invaluable. And Cathy remains one of the most incredible, and I hope that you know this, influences on my life. Because I have other places I could have been. Just kidding. David Hahn mentioned to me last week that he never took a class taught by Cathy, but here he is. The fact is, her influence and involvement here at this place is essentially ubiquitous. I was going to say, I was going to say omnipresent, but I thought that that might be too much. Look, I didn't want to stand up here and tell millions of stories because there are literally millions of stories to tell. Because I began my days in Cathy's classroom and I ended my days in Cathy's classroom for 3 years. And she was and is omnipresent as far as I'm concerned. If you're a teacher in this room tonight, let it be clear, by the standard that Cathy has set and carried on her shoulders her entire life, and continues to carry on her shoulders, what all of you do is tremendously valuable. When you're having a crazy day, when the emails stack up, when the kids are being difficult, when you still have exams left to grade, when, and I know that this is probably a stretch, but when the parents are rubbing you the wrong way, think of Cathy, remember this evening, and understand that over 20 years later, I'm standing here to say, Mark is stood here to say, that we would not be where we are without the role that Cathy played in our lives. Just try to be mindful that although sometimes it's not immediately tangible, the work that all of you do every day with these students is amazing and important, and it'll last an entire lifetime. President Kennedy, we're in a school, so I thought I'd end this with a quote from President Kennedy. President Kennedy eloquently pointed out, just before his death, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Cathy is this statement personified, and as someone that will always be her student, I do the best I can to follow her example, and it is my wish that we all do the same. Cathy, thank you so much for the impact that you've made on my life and the lives of everyone who have been blessed to know you.
Thank you so much. We will continue via video. A few more voices.
For Cathy, service is a way of life. It's part of who she is. She knows what people need, whether they're a student in her class or a person out in the community or in another country.
When one thinks of King, one thinks of Cathy. She is, in the pantheon of people who have made us who we are.
Without Miss Mishkin, man, I don't know. There's definitely going to be a lot of students that I feel like are missing out on having a really awesome teacher.
She's been at every production. She's been very generous with her time, both on campus and off. When I've been in productions at other theaters in the area, she's always been present. She's always been busy. She's always been involved.
I can still think many, many years back of teachers that had such an incredible influence on my kids, but it all revolved around Cathy.
The Homeless Project was something that Cathy started, and I think she just wanted the kids to have an appreciation for those that might not have as much as they have. So that was very humbling for them to have to sleep on a cardboard box on the ground. It was something that my children never forgot.
One of my most important memories of Cathy is the first midnight run that I went on with her. When we do a midnight run, we have a guide who gets on one of our buses with us and travels with us. This guide happens to be a person who has benefited from the midnight run. Cathy spoke to this guy as if he was the CEO of a company. He was not just one other person who needed these services. He was the person that we could learn from. And to learn that, I think, is the #1 thing I could have ever learned from her.
My advisor, Ms. Baker, was the tucking in the shirt patrol. And because her and Ms. Mishkin's office were kind of in line with each other, the first room of relief is Ms. Mishkin. You just always hear Charlie, your shirt! And you just see them running around the corner, sliding into Ms. Mishkin's office doing one of these. And she's sitting there at her desk just All right, come on in, what'd you do?
The word motherly comes to mind, just because she's so sweet and she's so understanding and she listens.
I can't think of the number of students that Cathy has had a really profound impact on. Over the years, if you felt like you were having some choppy water or in a tough time, you went to Cathy Mishkin.
Think about how many children she's actually impacted and how she affects the community around her. All those kids go out into the community and they continue to pay it forward. So I think that she as an educator is such an intelligent woman to see that this is how you make the community around you greater.
Miss Mishkin, thank you for being there for me when I needed someone, when I wasn't comfortable going to anyone else. I will always remember the things you said, the things you helped me through, and the ways you helped me through them. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all of the teaching and guidance and friendship. You will be sorely missed, as everyone I'm sure has said. And I feel very lucky to have worked with you. Thank you.
You, as a professor and as an individual, have both shown the utmost care and quality and concern for the people that you interact with on all bases. And I just wish you the best. I hope you're having a great time, and I hope you have a great retirement.
Cathy, I just want to say that it was such a pleasure getting to know you, working with you. All three of the girls love you dearly, as do my husband and I, and we wish you the very, very best in whatever endeavor you choose to do.
Thank you for everything that you have ever done for us. I don't think any of us can ever thank you or put into any kind of words how much you've touched our lives and our hearts, and I wish for you nothing but relaxation and calmness.
Cathy, I hope you know what a positive impact you've made on my life. When I think about the type of people that God wants on this earth, you are definitely that person. And I really know that for the rest of my life, I will continue to look to you, to turn to you, and think about the way that you live your life so that I can use that as a model for how I live my own life. And I don't know how else to say goodbye to you from King, but to say thank you, sincerely. Thanks, Cathy.
All right, so I would like to ask Lauren Fredette, King's current Director of Development, to come to the stage. I'm also going to ask Cathy to join us at the stage, up on stage, and we'll make a transition here before we make a special announcement.
So, hello everyone. As we were talking with Cathy, thinking through how we wanted to honor her and celebrate her in her retirement this year, it's really remarkable, and I think it's extremely fitting that what Cathy was most interested in, even more than the legacy that she has left, is how she can continue to make an impact on the lives of students moving forward. And she and her husband Richard said, "We care so much about the students of King's School, both in the past and the ones who are not even here yet, that we would like to work with the school to establish a scholarship in Cathy's name that will help that legacy live on by serving the types of students that Cathy made such an impact on for all of these years." So we as a school are so honored to have been the recipient of that scholarship and to establish that in her name. And so we invite you tonight and anytime, really. It would be certainly our honor if you would like to honor her by supporting this scholarship with us. And I can just read the description. This was very much the type of scholarship that Cathy was most interested in establishing here. That this is a needs-based scholarship that supports tuition assistance for a student who best exemplifies the qualities that Cathy displayed during her tenure at the school. These qualities include hard work, a commitment to service learning, social reflection, and demonstrated kindness and respect to fellow students and to others in the community. So there are many very easy ways that if you would like to participate in this scholarship with Cathy and Richard and others, if you haven't done so already. One, if we have your cell phone, and we have many of them, you will magically receive a link as a text on your cell phone. In fact, if you check your phone in the next minute, that should show up. And all you have to do is click on that link and make a gift. You can either enter your credit card information there, or you can do so out in the lobby. We have plenty of people who are out there who can help you. Also out in the lobby, we have these cards that if you want to fill those out and leave them with us, we would be happy to accept your gift that way. Or certainly on our website, you can do that now or anytime in the future. So we thank you so much, Cathy and Richard, for working with us to establish this scholarship, and we thank you to all of you for your contributions, which will continue to make a difference in the lives of students for many, many years. Thank you.
Before Cathy says a few words, there are several other gifts that I just want everyone to know about. First, from her current senior class. As many of you know, one of the roles Cathy has played for a very long time is the advisor to the senior class. And this year's seniors will be her last class. So on behalf of the entire senior class and the senior parents, I will carry this gift down for you so you don't have to bother with it now, but please, we offer this gift as a token of our deep respect and thanks. We also have a memory box that some of you have already contributed to, and we're going to leave it out, and it will travel with me to faculty meetings coming up, and there are cards around, and people have already filled it up, and we'll just keep adding cards with memories and thanks and any other comments that folks would like to share can go into this box, and then at the end of the school year, we'll let you have it. Okay, Cathy Mishkin.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hi. I just want to say that 43 years, a lot has happened, as you've heard, not the least of which is I started here as a newlywed, and my children were born while I was here. My parents both passed away while I was here. My in-laws, I mean, life experiences have been a very important part of my relationship with this school, and the support and caring that I have received over the years has been extraordinary. From the students, from the parents, from the faculty, from the administration, it's been just a joyous, joyous experience. So one of the reasons for this scholarship is that we believe that this experience would be great for children who cannot afford it. And I hope that you will keep that in mind, and maybe some of them will be able to have the advantage of being here and being with the wonderful people that are here and having the experiences that you've heard about today. I have many thanks to say, but I think that I will save those till the end. But I just want to thank all of you for being here and for your support over the years. It's been what keeps me going. And who knows where we go from here, but there's things out there, I'm sure, and hopefully some of it will have to do with this school still, and we'll see how it all works out. But thank you, thank you, thank you for today. It's just incredible. Thank you.
Melody Libinati, former director of King Performing Arts. Would you like to take it from here?
Sure.
All right, and we'll pull the lights down. We have a big treat. Thank you.
It's a special chair. One of the things I forgot to say was that I have had 43 years of all my joints replaced. It really is about being all in. I am all in.
am Cathy Mishkin.
I am Cathy Mishkin.
I am Cathy Mishkin.
I'm also Cathy Mishkin.
We are here today to applaud all of the work that Cathy has done in 43 years at the Low-Heywood Thomas School, King Low-Heywood Thomas School, and the King School. Cathy has always been the ultimate giving tree. There are so many gifts that she has given. So let's honor her in a way that she would love.
Let's sing. All right, come on up here, chorus. This is the chorus that I begged, that volunteered to sing for my party. And I think that everyone in the audience should join in. If you take a look in your programs, you'll see the words there. If you don't know the songs, then why are you here? Cathy Mishkin is all theater, people. You should know these words. You should know this music. But the lyrics are in your program, so you can fudge it at least or look it on the video.
You're a good person, Cathy Mishkin. You're the kind of reminder we need. You have humility, nobility, and a sense of honor that is very rare indeed. Hip hooray! You're a good person, Cathy Mishkin, and we know you will go very far. Yes, it's hard to believe, almost frightening to conceive what a good person you are.
You are kind.
You are kind to all the animals and every little bird. With a heart of gold, we believe what you told us and every little solitary word. You bravely face adversity. You're cheerful through the day. You're thoughtful, brave, and courteous, and you also have some faults. But for the moment, let's just say that you're a good person, Cathy Mishkin, and we know you will go very far. With a heart such as yours, you can open any door. You can go out and do anything. You could be Queen Cathy Mishkin, you know, Queen.
My compassion is boundless. Watching kids overcome obstacles and helping them through is what I love to do. In my LSR, Literature of Social Reflection, arguably the most popular class in the history of King, everyone wanted to spend the night in boxes. I wanted to help students to see what it's like to be homeless. So I had the students make shelters out of boxes and have them sleep in them for 5 nights. And I slept outside in boxes with them. It was a very meaningful experience for all, but a horrible experience for my back. Through the LSR class, I also worked with children in crisis, women in crisis, affluence, and poverty. My work has included people from all over the world. I went to Nicaragua 3 times through Building with Books, later called Build On. We built a school in Las Trojas, and then I went back to help supply it and build a floor. For the Midnight Run, I collected clothing and food for the homeless in New York City and drove the kids to New York so they could experience for themselves how they were helping and understand the need to help others.
Cathy, we're ready to sing our next song.
Well, I'm the Cathy right now, and I want to hear it.
Sorry, wrong key. Try that again.
came to us way back from Kansas,
This bubbling wisdom without folderol. Yes, she was smart and indeed had a heart, and we treasured this wonderful gal. Now we're in a conventional dither, wishing her joy while we're mopping a tear. And you will note there's a lump in our throat as we face that she will not be here.
Words sound trite and so inconsequential, and golly, they really are true.
Sure, this treasure has earned a new
leisure, but what the heck are we to do?
Hard to face that she really is tiring. Difficult that she's teaching no more. Still we do see with a hesitancy. Lacking measure we treasure with unbounded pleasure this wonderful Catherine gal.
Yes, this ethical, talented, van-driving, passionate,
fabulous, wonderful gal.
Strong passion for many things: music, theater, art, history, travel, kids, animals, and occasionally a guy named Richard. Oh, and of course, scarves. I love being part of the creative process, especially when I helped with Arts Happening, all school shows, and Tuesday, pardon me. Ooh. The arts is a great way to get people involved in a collaborative effort. I was also so lucky to do a lot of traveling over the years. I combined art history with Boo and traveled to Italy, Switzerland, France, Spain, England, and Eastern Europe.
We must interject here with more information about you.
Was born in Missouri, the second of 7. These Kellers as close as they can be. Met Richard the summer of 75. They married 1 year later, thankfully. When Sam and Becca blessed the Mishkin team, while Cathy worked her pedagogic dream. There's no Cathy like our Cathy, we I proudly declare. Everything about her is appealing.
Do you have anything negative to share?
No one can you get a better feeling or grasp the healing of Cathy's care. There's no teaching like her teaching, it's way beyond compare. Whether in a classroom or out in a tent, in Nicaragua or firmament, learning with her simply is magnificent, so can't get it aware.
A teacher, a mentor, a mother, a wife are just the start of all that she has done.
A passion for people, for music, for art, and truth be told, the rest has just begun. A family gal, a critter lover too.
At times her home resembled quite
a zoo. There's no Cathy like our Cathy, like no Cathy we know. You're on stage to give your big performance. Meet someone accompanying your song. Who gets
help to call out the last minute.
With Cathy in it, you carry on. There's no person like this person. She smiles when she is low. She's had challenges with Nakamoto's out, with perseverance and faith, no doubt.
She gets back up and wouldn't even think to pout.
She goes on with the show. Let's go on with the show.
I loved being exposed to kids with needs to help them with their problems. I took the time to listen and help them, and that has brought lifelong relationships. Guiding and helping way beyond the subject that you are teaching has always been my aim, always with respect and an open mind, We Can Be Kind. And I have the composer of my favorite song here today, Mr. David Friedman. With multi-platinum recordings, Broadway shows, Disney films, TV shows, and having just finished an off-Broadway run of the musical Desperate Measures, David is the composer of the song We Can Be Kind. He also just finished writing 100 inspirational songs with Kathie Lee Gifford for the Today Show segment, Everyone Has a Story. Mr. David Friedman.
So, let's chat. You know, Melody wrote to me and said, come to this thing on Sunday afternoon and sing. And Melody asked, so you can't say no. So I came, not knowing what I was getting into. And sitting here listening to everybody speak about you and to what you've done. Years ago, in my dictionary, I looked up the word educate, and it comes from the word educe, which means to bring forth, not to put in, but to bring forth. And when I hear about the way you taught, you saw the value in each person, and you knew it was there, and you brought it forth. And this year I've spent a lot of the year working on a new musical about Temple Grandin, who was a severely autistic child who grew up because of the passion and determination of her mother and teachers, and she's told me herself, to become a world-famous scientist who changed the world in terms of how animals are treated throughout the world. And so I want to sit down and talk to you sometime, because you seem to know a lot about this. So I wrote this song 25 years ago, but I think it's fair to say that today, this is your theme song. You've been writing it for many, many years, so let's do it. So many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind, we can take care of each other, we can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. Everyone wants to make things right. So what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind, we can take care of each other, we can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to talk about it, not enough to sing a song. We must walk the walk about it, you and I, do or die. We've got to try to get along. We can be kind, we can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And maybe we'll find true peace of mind if we always remember, as Cathy has taught us, we can be kind.
Giving of myself always came easy for me. I think that helping others is what everyone should do. I did get in a bit deep when I volunteered to be on the student-faculty volleyball team. I served the ball, then ran off the court. I don't think I was asked back. I helped with our school musicals, producing and being the rehearsal accompanist. I help in the box office for our shows, and I'm on the board of trustees for the Summer Theater of New Canaan, a professional theater company. I work with the students at Horizons, teaching music and creating a show for them each summer.
Mrs. Mishkin, can you help me after school?
Yes.
Mrs. Mishkin, can you drive me home?
Yes.
Cathy, can you create a senior parents' night?
Yes.
Cathy, can you help with commencement?
Yes.
Cathy, can you get your van license and drive the students to their games in the van, please?
Yes.
Yes.
It ain't so much a question of not knowing what to say. I've known what's right or wrong since I was 6. One hears a lot of stories, and it is with some dismay that people utter yes instead of nix. I know I mustn't fall into that pit. But hey, I'm Cathy. When people beg and plead, I forget.
I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, you're supposed to be singing with us. Gotta say nix.
It's in your book, go.
When a person needs a helping hand, I know I ought to say, too busy now. But as soon as someone smiles or cries, my firm resolve just takes a melting down. I'm just a tool when folks ask me. I can't be prissy and quaint. How can I do what I ain't? Something inside of me against. I can't say no.
My family has always been supportive of my work, and I'm so proud of them. Richard, Sam, Becca, and Aaron have been my support team. There have been so many teachers that have been mentors to me too. Boo, Elaine, Peg Kenny, Mary Hoffman, Sue Cesare. I've loved this school most of the time. I've taught the middle and upper school, was chair of the music department, head of the upper school, and the dean of students. My love recently has grown to include more children, my grandchildren. They are the loves of my life now. McKinley, Dakota, Madeline, and Michael.
What happens now?
I'll do part-time work, and I'll keep working with students. It's rejuvenating. I love it. I'll keep the ball rolling, but slow the ball down.
Hey, wait, there's more gifts that Cathy has given us on that giving tree.
Helping, wisdom, goodness, trust, respect, humor, welcoming home, care,
Rides, heart, mind, listening, hugging, talent, piano playing, intellect, generosity,
Empathy, fairness, humility, volunteering, thoughtfulness, partying, fun, grace.
Time, more time.
How would you like to be remembered?
Supportive, kind. I helped someone along the way, gave someone the confidence to discover who they are.
What do you think the students will say about you?
That they felt safe, they felt respected, and sometimes we had a good time. And sometimes we didn't. But love was always behind every action.
Kiss the day goodbye. The sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck, the same to you. But I can't regret what I did for love, what I did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. The gift was ours to borrow.
Was ours to borrow.
It's as if we always knew. And I won't forget what I did for love, what I did for love. Gone, love is never gone.
As we travel on, love's what we'll remember. What we'll remember.
Kiss the day goodbye.
Kiss today goodbye.
And point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget,
can't regret what I did for love. What I did for love. What I did for
there's no Cathy like our Cathy, and we proudly declare everything about her is appealing.
Do you have something negative to share?
Nowhere can you get a better feeling or grasp the healing of Cathy's care. There's no teaching like her teaching, it's way beyond compare. Whether in the classroom or in a tent, in Nicaragua or firmament, learning with her simply is magnificent. So kids say everywhere, so kids say And we'd like to thank Christos and Greg and John and Joyce and Colin and Rebecca and Sue and Richard Mishkin and our music director, Marty and Strike.
Thank you very much. Melody, that was amazing. That was so fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. Another round of applause for Cathy Mishkin. You rock.
I just want to say there are no words to say how I feel. It's just amazing. And thank you for everything. It's really wonderful for all of you.
Please join us in the lobby for additional memories. Thank you so much for being here.